Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today I am here with a update video for you all. I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of dreading making this video. I'm not gonna hold you because it's just, I don't want to say not a fun video to make, but it's kind of just a necessary step of a video to make that still kind of, hurts a little bit to make. Also, I apologize if my voice sounds a little raspy or if I sound a little sick, as well as the state of my bed. This whole, last week now, I was sick the entire week and it's still clinging on for dear life. So apologies if that's the case. But anyway, yes, I wanted to give you guys all an update on not only just what's been going on with me and the Dokkan Asset stuff, but as well as the future of my YouTube channels and the future of the Dokkan Assets Twitter account. As many of you are probably aware, you may have seen my videos that I did right when the worldwide celebration for Broly was starting up. I made a video tweet where I talked about the fact that I am basically going to be taking a break. I have been feeling really burnt out of not only just Dokkan in general, but also all things, really that I kind of do on YouTube at the moment in relation to Dokkan. It was kind of a double kicker, I'm not going to lie, because in terms of the game itself, I still enjoy Dokkan. I still play Dokkan, like every single day. But with me recently, right, your boy got heavy shafted. I'm sure if you've been following me on Twitter, you're probably well aware of the big shenanigans that happen to me with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, is his own entirely different beast. But, Gohan Beast and Broly and Gohan Beast again on Global. And then not to mention, just all of the other ones in between that have happened. So, I feel like it's a little silly to say that it's like, oh man, those things are what's really getting to me. But bro, when you don't get the new unit, and especially like for Gohan, right? Thankfully, at least on JP, I got him with the tickets because obviously that was the option with the 77 ticket multi. But, still, it's just not fun, not only when you don't pull the new units, but when it takes that long to pull the new units, when you're going thousands and thousands of stones and just getting literally nothing at all, right? It's frustrating. And not to mention for the channel, right? That whole aspect of Dokkan has then contributed into me feeling like, not only more burnt out on just Dokkan things in general, but when it comes to me making Dokkan content and me making just content on YouTube in general, I've been doing this for a long time, right? When it comes to the Dokkan Assets Twitter account, I'm pulling this up here. I should have had it pulled up in the beginning. I've been doing the Dokkan Assets Twitter account since 2019 in January. So I've been doing this for what? Would that be 5 years? Then this would be approaching on 6, if my math is correct on that. When it would come to the next year. And not to mention for my YouTube channel, I've been doing YouTube for many, many, many years. Like a long time, longer that I've been doing all of the Dokkan Asset stuff. I've been doing YouTube in a bunch of different facets. But when it comes to this channel, I'm just looking it up now on the Dokkan Assets channel. 7 years ago, August 29th, 2017 was the first channel trailer video. So I have been doing this for quite a long time, to say the least, right? It has been quite a number of years that I have been doing Dokkan YouTube stuff and have been in the Dokkan sphere and, all that type of stuff. So for me, I have been feeling really burnt out of it. Because I've just been doing it for so long now that it not only kind of feels like that you know, just in general, when you do something for so long, sometimes you just want a change, right? I know it's different for everybody where, you know, some people are a little bit different where, you know, they're fine with the status quo. And I'm a very routine person. You know, I also don't really like change. I mean, basically every time I go to a restaurant, I get chicken fingers, right? I'm that guy. But, you know, I don't know. I've just been doing the same thing on YouTube for so long. And not to mention, right? When it comes to some of my channels, I really kind of feel like, in two regards, um, I've kind of done as much as I can, which I know is not a good mindset to have for YouTube. But it's just kind of the way I feel with about some of the things that I feel like I'm struggling to grow. And obviously, there's lots of other things that I could do in an attempt to grow the audience a little bit more. You know, talking about for these mainly like the DBZ Assets channel and the figure unboxing channel, right? Obviously, with the Dokkan Assets channel, this is just kind of as it goes with the OSTs and everything like that. So not only is it just that fact that I feel like in my mind I've kind of done everything that I can or that I want to in terms of, you know, content, and also in terms of like viewership and stuff. I feel like I've been, you know, struggling and, you know, what's that expression? Turning my wheels, right? Like in the mud to, you know, try and grow those channels and to no avail. Again, there's definitely some things that I could do and improve on, and I'm aware of that. But that's just a small aspect in this whole thing of, again, you know, feeling really burnt out with Dokkan in general. You know, and not to mention, you know, when it comes down to it, in terms of content that I want to make on YouTube, right, and I want to make it a creative sense, unfortunately, the Dokkan Sphere is just not the place to do that for the things that I really, really want to create, and the, you know, ideas that I have in mind, the dream that I have for a YouTube channel that I want to make. The Dokkan, like, audience, basically, is just not receptive to that type of content, really. And, you know, it's kind of unfortunate that that's the case, but that's just kind of the way that it is, and that's okay, right? Obviously, people more prefer when it comes to Dokkan content, you know, like showcases and, you know, some videos and stuff like that, right? And that's fine. That's the nature of the game, and so it makes sense that, you know, that would be what people would want to see most, you know, mostly, right? There are people who do a bunch of different things. I mean, even for me, right? The animation analysis is obviously something of my own design, right? With that, it's definitely a lot more of a unique type of video than other people have done. Even to an extent, the OST mega mixes, right? Obviously, that is just putting the OSTs in one video, but obviously, I try and be a lot more creative in the way that I put them together. But regardless, though, I've just been feeling really burnt out of everything. And I also kind of feel like it's time for me, from a content perspective, to kind of move on to what I really want to do, and, you know, these creative projects that I have in mind. And so I also don't want Dokkan to become something I resent, right? I know a lot of the time with me, when it comes to things that I feel like I'm getting burnt out of, right? Or I feel like I'm getting tired of, if they're things that I enjoy and cherish, right, I don't want them to become a negative thing, right? Obviously, when it comes to this channel and all the content that I made, I love it, right? I'm proud of the stuff that I've made, right? I really enjoy the YouTube content that I make, and I enjoy making it while I made it, right? But I also don't want it to be like, man, I have to upload a video today. Ugh, you know? Or like, you know, then come to resent Dokkan any more than I already do for already taking as many stones out of my wallet as they have. But, you know, with that being said, though, you know, I don't want this, you know, whole YouTube thing of what I do now, and, you know, just Dokkan stuff in general, and even Dragon Ball and all that, to, you know, become something I resent, because I would absolutely hate for that to be the case, because this is something I love. I mean, clearly, wrong hand, look behind me, look at all those Dragon Ball figures. I'm wearing a Dragon Ball shirt right now, right? So, you know, with all that being said, I think it's time for me to basically move on in some regards, stay in others, and, you know, make some changes to how things are going to work around here. So, I keep looking at my timer down there, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm looking in the corner. I want to, I wanted to explain to you kind of my reasoning and how I've been feeling about everything before I got into basically the like core update of the video of what's basically going to be changing in terms of my channels and everything like that. Because I just wanted you to understand my mindset, and that obviously not only am I not doing this for no reason, right, but obviously I've thought quite a bit about this. I mean, that was sort of the purpose of the break, right, that obviously, I talked about with, not really posting the data downloads and stuff like that. The purpose of that break was to be able to, kind of think this through and, see where I wanted to go from here and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to proceed, right? These breaks that I've taken in the past, because there have been times where, maybe not on the Dokkan Assets Twitter account as much, but with YouTube, there's been times that I've taken breaks. And so, when it comes to that sort of stuff, I feel like it really gives me a lot of good time to think things through and kind of, figure out how I want to proceed. So let's just go down the list basically of what I'm going to do in terms of all of the stuff that I'm going to basically be changing in terms of how it's going to be operating. I guess we'll start with the YouTube channel first since we're sitting here, and we'll kind of end with the Dokkan Assets Twitter account because I think that'll take maybe the most explanation, I suppose. Some of it will be kind of intertwined with the YouTube stuff, but anyway, in terms of the DBZ Assets channel, and the animation analysis videos, as well as the OST Megamix videos, that channel is just kind of going to be left to be as it is now. Unfortunately, I know there are some people who have been missing the animation analysis videos because I've been getting some comments on Twitter about it, and thank you. It makes me really, really happy that you guys enjoy them so much that even I get comments like that at all, right? Obviously, it's so nice that something that's a little bit more of my design is what people are like really excited to be seeing and, want to come back and everything like that. So I do apologize on that front. But again, it's just with my whole mindset on the way that everything is right now, I feel like even if I kind of do one type of video or, one thing related to Dokkan, sort of, I know my mindset is very weird. My brain works in very mysterious ways, but I feel like that I'll kind of be still chained down to this as I kind of feel now at the moment. And again, like I said, I don't want to resent it, right? So I want to, pull out before I dislike something that I love. So the DBZ Assets channel is just going to sit. I'm not going to be uploading any new videos on there. That's just kind of going to be the way that it is. Obviously, I'm not going to be deleting any videos on any of my channels, so all the videos that are there are yours to enjoy. You can go back and rewatch them as many times as you want. As for the figure unboxing channel, I feel like that channel I may want to do something with it again in the future. I may pick it up back again for like an occasional, YouTube short or maybe something like that. But again, at the moment, that channel is also basically going to just sit, and I'm not really going to be doing anything on it in terms of content. That includes YouTube Shorts and the TikTok account for that as well. When it comes to this channel, right? This channel is kind of in combination with the Dokkan Assets Twitter account. Oh, actually, before I get to that, I don't want to forget this detail as well. Because I know some of you have been curious, and I know some of you have been asking. This does mean as well that I am going to be leaving the Slot 1 Super podcast with Minato and with Ningen. We've already talked about this. We already had a discussion about it. We will be making a post about it on the Slot 1 Super podcast Twitter account, right? But with all these changes that I'm making and everything that I have going on in my real life, I just feel as though that it is the best decision for me to leave the podcast. Whether they find somebody else or not, or they just continue with the two of them, is kind of remains to be seen. They're going to figure that out. Obviously, it's no bad blood between any of us, right? We're all chilling on that front, so don't worry. We're all still friends. And they happily invited me to come back anytime I wanted to, or be a guest, or do a little segment on the podcast, or anything like that. So you may see me on there again. Who knows? But as it stands, in terms of being a consistent host on the podcast, I am no longer going to be one. Okay, so finally then, the main channel and the Twitter account, right? So the main channel will basically be essentially as it is at the moment, right? The OSTs will still be uploaded onto the channel, and basically these super attack animation videos that, you know, Dokkan posts on Twitter will be posted onto this channel. This channel is really not going to be going through too many changes. Just because, you know, there's really no reason to. And not to mention, you know, I will say, and again, you guys know that as an audience, I like to be very transparent with you when it comes to my content. This channel is also helping pay for some bills, which is really, really helpful right now. And obviously, I don't want to take that away from myself because it's very, very helpful with my current financial status. So, you know, that has also been very, very helpful in terms of this channel as well. And also with the OSTs, right, I also like listening to them too. So it's also a thing for me where, you know, whenever a new unit comes out, I enjoy listening to the OSTs in high quality and having a place where, because I primarily listen to music on YouTube. So it's nice to be able to have a place on YouTube where I can just, you know, have all of the videos in the format that I like them to be in. So the OST videos and basically the essay videos will not be going anywhere. And this also kind of then relates to the Dokkan Assets Twitter account. So obviously with this whole break, I have really thought over what I want to do in terms of the Twitter account, right? Because obviously it is quite a big change. I'm going to be honest, right? I have been obviously posting the assets in like every single PNG from the data download for years now, right? And even on that, you know, I've just really begun to feel pretty burnt out about it. You know, it is like, I don't want to say it's almost like a full-time job, but I'm essentially clocking in for like the 9 to 5, or almost like the reverse 9 to 5, basically, where there will definitely be nights where some of these data downloads, you know, I'm sitting down to do the data download at like 8, 9 o'clock, and then, you know, I don't end up, you know, going to bed until like 5 a.m., basically. And that's essentially like a full workday shift, right? And obviously the whole reason why I do it and why I did it is because I enjoy it, right? That's the reason. You know, again, I'm not doing it for, you know, any other reason than that, and obviously to provide the assets to the community and stuff like that. You know, because obviously when the Dokkan Assets account was initially created, the whole reason was quite literally, if you've ever seen Robots, the movie Robots, goated movie, you know, the quote, see a need, fill a need, basically, is essentially what it was, is that there was nobody posting them in the community, and it seemed like something that could be helpful and that people would really like to see. And obviously in terms of, you know, seeing some of the info that, you know, we end up finding out through the assets and stuff like that, and obviously a lot of people I know use them for thumbnails and other projects and stuff like that. So when it comes to that sort of thing, basically with the assets, right? I've kind of realized that it's a lot, right? I mean, I don't know how I haven't realized that up until this point, but it's a lot, you know, posting all of these assets every single time there's a data download. And obviously it's also unfortunate because then it kind of becomes a thing, well, I essentially have to drop whatever I'm doing just to, you know, then hop on and, you know, post the, you know, assets for hours. And sometimes, you know, obviously if I'm in the middle of something, or sometimes I just don't feel like it, bro. I mean, obviously everybody has those days where, you know, the things that you do every day, sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. You know, sometimes you just don't feel like going into work every day. And I'm not trying to, you know, like say that I feel like it's a job at this point, but you know what I mean, right? It's like you know, not only do I not want it to feel like a job in terms of being burnt out of it, but, you know, it is a lot of work to obviously maintain everything on it. So here's the plan, right? Obviously the OSTs will remain because of course those end up on YouTube anyway. And then, you know, I post those on Twitter. So obviously those will stay. When it comes to the data downloads, essentially what I'm going to do going forth, I believe, is really only post a couple of things from data downloads essentially when I feel like it, or from bigger data downloads, right? Basically, when we get a small data download, right, when it will just be something like an easy A or something like that, unless I'm like sitting at my computer and I just really want to post it for some reason, I probably won't be posting it. But when it comes to certain assets, right, like if we get like loading screens or if we get like more wallpapers or something like that, right, I always like posting those. Story assets, you know, I will definitely keep posting the card arts themselves. Probably only though if those are from like, you know, Dokkan Fest units or stuff like that. Because if we get like a data download with a bunch of World Tournament units, probably that one I'm just not really going to bother with. But, you know, if we get like a new Dokkan Fest, then obviously, you know, those will be, you know, posted in terms of the card art. And I know that there are people who really like seeing the super attack animations. So I will probably continue to just chuck those in a folder and then, you know, have that be there. You know, because I know people like those and people use those for projects and stuff like that. But I think in terms of the data downloads, that's really going to be it. And honestly, when it comes to that, even in like the grand scheme of things, I'm not really going to force myself to do it. Like if I just don't feel like doing it at the moment, right? If I just don't feel like dropping whatever I'm doing and getting to it, I'm not going to do it. Because again, I don't want to resent it and end up, you know, hating it or disliking it, right? Hate is a strong word. We're definitely not even close to that point yet, but you understand my point. So I think that is basically everything that I had that I wanted to share. I didn't expect this video to be this long, but here we are. Thank you for watching. If you have watched this video to the end, I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully, right, this video provides some context as to, you know, what's been going on and, you know, the future of these channels and everything like that. As I did say earlier in this video as well, the last thing that I wanted to mention is that obviously I do have some ideas for other content that I want to make on YouTube in the future. YouTube is a huge passion of mine, and it's definitely something that I don't want to stop doing. But at the moment, I'm not going to speak on the things that I want to do, because not only do I kind of want it to be something that grows naturally where, you know, like I'm not like, oh, hey, everybody from Dokkan Assets, come on over and boost my numbers, right? I want it to be something that grows naturally. But I also kind of want to have a little moment where if somebody will go, hey, are you Dokkan Assets? Because I think that that would be kind of funny, you know, when the new channel ends up starting up, right? So with all that being said, keep your eyes peeled around the YouTube space to see if you can find me there. I'm treating it like I'm the One Piece, bro. You'll have to find it first. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. The one thing that I really wanted to say at the end of this video too is thank you so much for all of the support over the years. I really, really appreciate it. Obviously, I would not be not only who I am today, but also would not have the success that I have today from, you know, whether it be Twitter or YouTube, you know, with everything, if it wasn't for all of you, the viewers. So thank you guys so, so much for all of your support. Obviously, even with my channels that have been a little bit smaller, you know, and even the channels and, you know, outlets and social media that have been way bigger, I appreciate all of you so, so much. Thank you. Thank you for, you know, really not only just making my dreams come true to be able to get to this point that I'm at today, and not to mention, you know, just all of your support and all of your kind words over the years. Oh, yeah, the final thing that I wanted to say, that would have been a great note to end on, but I forgot the final thing that I wanted to include. When it comes to the Dokkan Assets Twitter account in general, by the way, besides the assets, it's not going anywhere. It will basically be the same thing as you've been seeing during this break time that I've been having where, you know, random tweets, I'll be quote retweeting my thoughts on Dragon Ball stuff. I'll be retweeting Dragon Ball stuff. You know, I'll be, you know, talking about figures that I see on the timeline. I'll be commenting on clips on people's posts, posting memes, you know, like that type of stuff. I'll still be participating and I'll still be a member of the community. Not to mention, right, I don't know if anybody has ever noticed it really, but I've always tried to be the one-stop shop where you can go to for all of your Dokkan news. Because even if I'm not the one posting Dokkan news in particular, I always make it a point to retweet every single piece of Dokkan news that there is. So if you just need a summary, you can kind of just scroll through my retweets, excuse me, and find everything that you need to find, because I have notifications on for like every Dokkan account under the sun practically. So when it comes to Dokkan news, I always retweet everything, and that's also not going to change. I'm just still going to retweet all, like the Dokkan news and stuff like that. So again, as the Twitter account kind of remains now, even outside of the assets that I post, it's basically not going to change. And not to mention, in terms of the mega threads, probably what I'll do is that when a data download happens, I'll post the couple of little assets that I do post. But obviously, I'm going to make it clear that I'm not posting all of the assets anymore. And this video is definitely going to be linked, in mega threads going forward. So obviously, there's an explanation as to why not everything, as it was will, be in the mega thread. But anyway, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a wild ride. It's been a great one. Obviously, I'm not disappearing, right? I'm not going to be poofing out of existence. I enjoy Twitter.com too much for that to be the case. And I do enjoy participating in the community and stuff like that. And like I said, I still enjoy playing the game and everything like that. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate, again, all of your support over the years. Thank you so, so much again. I would not be Dokkan Assets. I would not be the Waveku Man, the PNG Man, all of the names that I have been, gifted over the years if it wasn't for all of you. So really, thank you all so, so much for your support. It means the world to me. I am excited for what's to come in my YouTube journey. I am excited for, what's to come in life, and, hopefully, we'll see what happens, right? I also didn't want to like leave this note, or leave this video on the note of like, oh, there's a possibility that, I could return to form and all these things would come back, right? There's always a possibility for anything happening, right? I could walk outside and then, catch $100 bill falling out of the sky, right? But I don't want to obviously give anybody false hope or lead anybody on that, I'm going to come back to, making this content and doing these things, because that just doesn't feel right. And it's a hard thing for me to say because as a person, I'm very nostalgic. I'm very sentimental. It's hard for me to let go. And so in saying that, I really want to say like, oh, maybe I'll be back someday, or something like that in terms of, these things that I'm obviously not going to be doing anymore. But when it comes to, that aspect of things, obviously I don't want to make false promises and say that and then, never come back. So obviously I want to, leave this note on the fact that, this is just going to be the way that things are. And I appreciate your guys' support. Obviously, I think this decision is best for me. It's best for my mental health because I've also been, again, when you are burnt out on something, it's a real struggle because it's something that you love, but it's also something that's, not bringing you down in the sense of like, oh my gosh, I'm destitute, but like, obviously, it's something that you're kind of, tired, I guess is the best way to say it, right? And so it's that like struggle between, well, I love this thing, but it's also affecting me in a, semi-negative way, right? So I have to let it go to be able to feel better, but I still like it at my core, you know what I mean? So either way, though, I think I've gotten my point across by now. Again, thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Waveku stands, rise up. I haven't said that one in a fat minute. Thank you for all of your support. I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.